All right, back on the excavator here. This video today is going to be to check the carbon monoxide level in the cab when it's running, as there's a concern of that. I just replaced the starter here. I don't know if anyone's seen the other video, but after about 20 hours, the starter failed to work, and I'll show you what happened. So here is the old starter, and the issue is the gear inside here, which retracts this gear. Whatever mechanism is there to push this out, it no longer does that. The new one, the minute you turn this, it just popped right out like they normally should. So what do you do about warranty on something like this? You know what I mean? Thankfully, it only cost me about, I think it was like 40 bucks at the door. So it wasn't terrible. Of course, $40 at the door isn't too much money for the part, but you know, thank God I'm mechanically inclined. I mean, what does someone do if they buy this and literally, you know, something like this happens to them, and they don't have the tools or the whereabouts or any knowledge how to do that? What do you do? I don't know. At any rate, so that's a different issue for somebody else. At any rate, you can see I have the gas cap off right here. I had to reshoot this video a time or two for different reasons and whatnot. But at any rate, you'll see inside here, I put the sound deadening insulation in there, and it really made a huge difference. When I first put the enclosure on here, if you recall, this cut across these bolts right here, and you can actually see where the little scribe mark right here from the angle grinder. Ready to cut this piece off of here. It was the only way I could really, the best way that I could see to get it off here was to get this panel off of here, and then once I got that off of there, it was pretty easy, really. I mean, everything is right there, with the exception of all the bolts that fasten the engine down are all Loctited in for your convenience. So I also put the that sound deadening stuff over here in a temporary fashion over here just to plug up this hole. Right now, I'm planning on doing something different, maybe like some sort of a broom type of a gimmick or something like that. It's not needed. I think it's just there so you can, it helps aid getting the cab on, I think, more than anything. So I also put it underneath the seat as well, and just kind of draped it in here. It don't look so good, does it? I know it looks like crap, but it's kind of like a temporary thing until I can do something later. And you can still see there's gaps. There's a gap over here. So I still need to seal a few things up. So there are some leaks. So there may be a carbon monoxide issue. I don't know, but it still needs a little bit of work. And but I need to do some work with it. So I think it's good enough for right now. But let me run this thing and I'll show you the meter that I'm going to use. So this is the meter right here, and you'll see it has the parts per million. So we'll be looking at that. And when you first plug it in, it goes through a little sequence and it counts down. This number at 0 starts at 60 and kind of works this way the other way around. So also I'm going to run the air conditioner as well, and you'll see it's pulling about 60 amps, 59, 60 amps, which is full load current on that particular unit. And I'm going to idle it down as low as I can, as low as I feel it should. It'll actually bog down if you go too low with it. And you'll see it's pretty low. I'll rev it up and down, and I'll leave it at the lowest setting that I think it'll run at. And then towards the end of the video, I'll shut the air conditioner off, and you'll see that it's not a really big strain for the engine, even when it's at when the air conditioner's at full load. It's not that big of a deal. So if you own one of these, you know you probably got to use a funnel to get the fuel in the damn thing. And I've seen people use gas caddies and gas transfer pump things and different things like that. And what I have found that really works best, at least for me, is, and that's why I had the cap off before, is just this simple transmission filter, transmission funnel. And just as simple as that possibly is, it's just right at the edge right here. You don't have to lean in, and it works awesome. So speaking of fuel, I guess if you have one of these things, you know that they like it. They sure do like it. I'll crank it up here. give you an idea, RPM wise. So you seen at the end there, it was really pulling some high amps. I had never seen it pull that kind of amperage before, but then again, I've never really drug it down like that, and I kind of pulled it down the RPM to the point where even when I started throttling up on it, it still didn't have enough torque to actually pull it over. So it was really dragging down the motor pretty heavily. And then I turned the alternator off and I turned it back on, and you've seen that high amperage. Like I said, I never seen that before, but then it kind of mellowed out and got to the 60 part. I'm assuming it tried to start up under some pretty good head pressure, would be my guess. But once it mellowed out, you can see it doesn't take full throttle to run this, and it really, outside of that, which very rarely, if ever, never ever occurred before, happens, it seems like it holds up pretty well. So thanks for watching.